It's an image of creation. It's an image of life. It's become sort of an icon of downtown Dallas since 1968, almost 50 years. With normal wear and tear and weathering and all of that through the years, it needed to be repaired and cleaned. There's cracks that had formed in the first layer of the mosaic and just needed to be fixed and repaired and brought back to its original glory.
Little tears.
I have no clue about mosaics, art, any of this stuff. But I knew something had to be done. At least I needed an expert to look at it to tell me was the mosaic okay or did it need repairing.
In general, the mosaic is actually in good shape. It's messy and it has concentric circles of brown and white and colors that are very unexpected. It has pink in it, it has purple, it has lime green, it has lavender. There are a million colors in this mosaic. It's not just a chromatic rainbow from white to blue. The repair has to match in the color, in the andamento, in the cut of the tesserae, in the way they flow. All of that is essential, otherwise it'll just look like a big scar. Our aim is to try to pull off a section to either side of the fracture so we can work on the fracture but keep the section around it intact and label where it goes. Through the Mosaic Society, I became friends with a gentleman in New York named Stephen Miotto, and he is the godson of the people who owned the company that made the St. Jude mosaic. Stephen Miotto is giving us access to the original materials and the original palette that was used to fabricate this.
Obviously, God, the Holy Spirit, is guiding us. She found the grandson of the man whose company designed it and put it in, and sure enough, they had the original tiles from, I guess, when they originally made them, and she was able to go up to New York to his studio and bring them down. So yes, I'm very happy.
Each color is its own sophisticated mix of minerals, silica, sand, fired in a kiln. There are 28,000 colors, so it's very difficult to match these historic colors and find a vendor in Italy who makes exactly this shade of chartreuse and exactly that dirty gold color and 5 different colors of orange. So the fact that we have access to send all of these colors up to New York and have Stephen Miotto's company pull tiles for us and send us the quantities we need is just the most magical part of this whole restoration. There will be when we get to
what about these guys?
Yeah.
I came to learn about the project at St. Jude's Chapel through my good friend and colleague, Julie Richey, who owns Julie Richey Mosaics. They had commissioned her to do a mosaic behind one of the Santos figures in the main chapel. And now we're very excited because we're working on the really fabulous mosaic on the facade, which has sustained some pretty rough damage, and we're pretty excited about putting it back where it's supposed to be.
We put these big tape rulers on each side and we labeled every section 1 through 12, fracture A, fracture B, and then we divided it into 6-inch squares and put a polyethylene tape on and traced every single tessera, little 6x6 maps of every tile in every section. These are what we're going to use to help recreate the flow of the tiles and the size of all the tesserae as they go together.
I have done a lot of work on glass. Mosaics are a little bit newer to me, but between the two of us, I think we've got it. Okay. What I love most about restoration is the process of seeing things come back together to be the way they're supposed to be, to being right again. But in addition, there's that knowing that we've maybe put some part of somebody's life back together, something that has meaning to them. This is such a nugget, a jewel in the middle of Main Street. Once you notice it, it's hard to not notice it. I mean, I think lots of people go by all the time and have just never paid any attention. And I'm really hoping that, well, us cluttering up the sidewalk for a few weeks will draw some attention to the chapel and to these really wonderful mosaics.
Just getting up on a genie lift or on a ladder and observing the deterioration is one thing, but taking a chisel and actually pulling tiles out and looking at what's going on underneath the surface is really scary.
There's green along the edge, but it doesn't look like it's penetrating through.
Okay. All right, we'll leave those then. We are getting so emotionally attached to this mosaic that Callie and I, as we're chiseling away, we'll chisel one piece because we can see it's kind of loose, or we can see there's mildew growing on the side of it, so we chisel that one, and then the 3 neighbors next to it fall off, and we just go, oh. It's like every one is its own little tragedy. We have removed all of the loose and damaged tile. We've excavated a new fracture that we didn't know existed, which is a horizontal fracture. So probably 2 more days of this chiseling, which drives them crazy inside the office, but they're very patient with us. Yeah. And then we replace the tile. So we have been filling in the fractured area and repiecing the mosaic together for the past 2 weeks. And we think we're at our final day unless we get rained out. There were a lot of little spider webs of cracks, and so we've tried to stabilize the best we can.
These cracks they were really old. I mean, it's way back. There hasn't been any change in a really long time. So what we're hoping is it's a combination of the building settling and this open area around the cross. I think we've done the most we can do to kind of glue it back together and make it so that it'll function better in the future, and most importantly, make it look good, and certainly for next year's 50th anniversary. Julie and I are both hoping it'll last way longer than our careers. We're shooting for another 50 years, maybe 100.
And we're putting this veneer of the mosaic back on. And the way we're knowing where everything goes is that we have these patterns of the entire fracture as it was when we started to repair it. This one?
No, this was.
You know, you restore a car, you restore your home, nobody remembers what it looked like before. And that's okay. And I'm not worried about them, praising us for doing this project. I just want them to enjoy it. Whether they've known this place since they were little kids like me, or they're brand new to our beautiful city.
Wobbly up there. Okay, we're getting close. Goopy here, but it'll be nice when it's cleaned. Okay, one more. Alright, he's in.
Yay!
Oh, Fred's playing me. This is not a waterline.
Finally!
It was worse than we expected, as bad as we feared, and we managed to overcome it. Where it goes from medium blue to pale blue, and it's got all those spikes coming
And
out
look
of
at
it.
the weird green and yellow up above, too.
I hope when this is finished, when our project is done and we take away the genie lift and it's all clean, no one notices any difference. If no one can tell where we repaired it, we've done our job well.